Hi. Hi humans, Lord Jugo is back, and Fanny here. I'm just a Muslim and has been trying to create something here on YouTube. So, if you're new here, please subscribe, like this video, share this channel. I really need this channel to grow. So, recently I posted a video. Actually, I will post. Technically, I already posted, but I'm recording it before posting it, but you know. So, recently I posted a video about the house I'm renovating. And that house is super destroyed, and that it's the before video, and the house is super unshaped and destroyed, and actually even the walls aren't there. And in today's video I'm going to explain why the house is so unshaped and destroyed, and who is the owner of the house, why I decided to start renovating now, actually in January, months ago. To start, that house is actually mine. I got it when my father died 4 years ago. I think it was 4 years ago. When he died, I got that house. But to explain why the house is that way, I have to go back into the past, like a lot. So, that house was probably built before I was born, or I was super young that I don't even remember how it was. But basically my father wasn't from my city, he was from another city, and he came to here, he started working, met my mother in a strange way, married in a strange way, had kids in a strange way. It was so strange, that's why I'm Dr. Strange. My father have always had this thing about building things and construction, and actually my grandpa too, the father of my mother, and I think they got together in this state. My father kind of saw my grandpa like an example, like something to follow, because my grandpa basically built a house for each kid that he had, and he had a lot of women, so a lot of kids. I think my dad got kind of inspired by that. Also, he had this thing about building things. The only problem that as much as he liked to build, he liked to destroy things, to rebuild. That's something that actually my sisters kind of got. I have a sister who is constantly renovating her apartment. She's moving all the time just to get something new to renovate. She's constantly destroying things to renovate. Now she's moving to another house and she's renovating it. But for me, renovation is something that, okay, I'm renovating it so I don't have to touch on it for years. Maybe just paint the walls or change little things, but they like to really rebuild things. So in order to have something to rebuild, they have to destroy it. And I don't understand how this works. So my teacher is basically renovating a house too now, but doing it, planning to redo it in a short time future. That's something that I can't understand, but they have that in common. So my father basically saw in my grandpa something inspiring in that matter, but also he had this ego, like I have to build something because my penis is short. because I don't know, it was something more like I need to do this to become what he is. I don't know if that's what it was, but that's how I feel. So he basically loved construction, and basically he made the same thing as my grandpa. He basically built a building with houses, a lot of houses, and each of the house were for one kid specific. Sometimes he would rent those houses, but most of the time the houses were just there, standing and basically being destroyed with time, because when you don't have someone living in a place, it kind of gets like destroyed by itself. I don't know how it works, but that's nature. That's nature. But mostly he didn't like to rent those houses because he liked to... Okay, after he finished a project, after he finished a house, he used to like to see it done. When he saw it done and perfect the way he imagined, basically he would do like, okay, now it's perfect. After like 2 days, a week, a month, I don't know, he would saw that same project that before he thought it was super perfect and just had new ideas about it. So he would basically go to that place that it was already perfect and done and just destroy it completely to just start all over again to build something new instead of leaving it quietly just to destroy what's done. And I don't know how those people work because I get tired only for doing things that I should do, imagining destroying things to redo. I don't know. Yellow mug. That was one of the reasons the house was destroyed, is destroyed because it's not ready yet. But another reason, and that is why I think he built those houses for his own pride or his own ego. I remember once, actually it was the last time he destroyed that specific house, mine house. So, since we were kids, he used to say, this house is for you, this house is for you, and he would build those places and say, that's yours, not mine, it's not about me. But it was something always strange for us because we couldn't actually do something with it. It was just a title, like, this is yours, just don't touch it. So that's not yours. So I remember once, I have always studied in public schools because money, public schools, but I remember when I was on my last year of high school, I think it was the last year, I don't know, or the previous year, I don't know, probably the last year, no, before the last year of high school. And I was on my second year of high school and I wanted to go to a different school because in that school they were preparing the kids for this special exam. After you finish high school, you have this test, this exam, that if you go well, you get good place in college and most of the time free. You had like, if you had good scores on that test, it would be perfect for your college life. So basically, I wanted to be a doctor. I couldn't become a doctor because I wouldn't have money to pay for a college like that. But with this test, I could do it. And I was already working at that time. I worked since ever. And I went to that school. I talked with the principal. Yeah, I was probably 14 years old. But since I was a kid, I used to take care of myself because there weren't like people there to take care of me. So I've learned to take care of myself really young. And I just get there and actually, I don't know how to say it in English, but I got like a 50% discount just because the principal liked me, because I have always knew how to talk with people. Like, I was a kid who talked like a growing up person, like an adult, I don't know how to say this word, I hate this word. So, so I talked with him and I got this 50% discount, but what I was getting from my work, I couldn't pay for it, it wasn't enough. But I thought, okay, I have this house, it's not ready yet, but as I work, I have enough money to renovate that house and rent it, and with that rent money, I can pay for my school. And I asked him. I didn't even ask for the money. I could ask for the money because that's kind of your parent's job to pay for your school. Actually, he should be the one worried about my future, but yeah. Yeah, we don't discuss parents' problems here because we have a lot. So, yeah. So, my hands are so timed, Jesus. When I got there and I talked with him, he basically said anything. He was quiet the entire conversation. And when I go for a conversation, I really talk. I explain my topics. Since I was a kid, I was that kid that if I wanted something, I used to talk a lot. Like, explain every detail why. But when it was the time to have an answer for him, I didn't have it. But what he basically did was after this talk, he came to the house and basically destroyed it. Like, before I would only had to just paint the house and find someone to rent it. And yes, I was 14, but I was super smart. I'm not anymore. I wish I had that wisdom with me. And I was going to just renovate. It was just painting the house basically to rent. But after that talk, he basically destroyed the house, so I couldn't do it. And I forgave him a long time ago for that. I don't really care now. But that's actually really stupid because I wasn't asking for to do things for pleasure or for go to a party or just to have money to buy things. I was worried about my education, and I found ways to do it, and I got that discount. I could just make a plan in my mind and I could just solve everything, but just by thinking about my future, it wasn't something about myself. It was something about myself, but it wasn't something that I should be worried about. Of course, I should be worried about my future, but as a parent, when you have kids, you have to plan their futures because they don't know what they are doing. But as I didn't have anyone to think about my future or to think about my education, I needed to do it by myself. So that's why the house is destroyed. Basically, I wanted education and I destroyed the house. But after he died, I got the house. That's so mean. That's so mean. I shouldn't be joking about that. I'm a bad person. But what I mean is, after all, when I got the house, I didn't want to renovate it because at the beginning I thought that's not actually mine because I didn't do it, I didn't create it, I didn't buy it, so that isn't mine. But after thinking and overthinking about things, that's not something I shouldn't be worried about, because after all, throughout my life I wasn't allowed, I didn't get the privilege that I should have like a normal kid. But throughout my life, I wasn't allowed, I didn't get the privilege that I should have as a kid. Not privilege, but rights. Because basically, I raised myself most of my life. And I'm not saying that it was payment or it was something that, like, it was a debt, like a paid debt. But it is really something that, okay, that's yours. It doesn't matter if you feel that you should buy that thing. Because since I was a kid, I feel that if I want to get something, if I want something, I have to work for it. And when something comes easy or not on my terms, I don't feel that it's right. And at the same time, it's right and wrong. But after all, the house is mine. I could just let it die the way it is, or I could renovate. And now that I move out, instead of living my whole life in a rent house, I could just renovate this house to move. It's not on my plans to live in Brazil, not at all. But having this house done, it's not only something about to live, but when I move out, I have insurance, I have this place that I can go back. Also, when I move out of Brazil, I have this place rented, or I have this place rented where I can be sure that that money will come from that place. And that's the story. I'm like working a lot on the house, so I'm paying for it because a lot of work. I'm not sleeping at all. What was that? And I'm kind of deserving it by work because I'm working for it. And when it's done, it will be good, probably. And I don't know, I will move to it. My dog, every day, oh my god. Every day, sometimes it's the middle of the night and he wants to go to the house to see it. Because every time there's a change in the house, he basically shows me and he's like, that was done. I know my dog can talk, but he talks with me because we have a special bond. Don't cry. And, and it's funny to see that he knows when something's different in the house. And I love my dog. He's super smart, like his daddy. And I don't know, I'm happy to see it changing because when you work on something that is super destroyed, you don't see change even when you're working hard, but with time you kind of see transforming into something real. Now you will see on the videos, but now I can already see it as a house, because before for me it was just destruction. And that was this video. That's the reason why the house is destroyed. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit longer than most of my videos, but if you haven't watched the before video and how the house is destroyed, I'll put the link on the description, or you can click up here. And that was this video. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you in the next video. Remember to live proudly because you're fucking special, like me. And I'll think I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Love y'all.